Bungie officially announced their release of Marathon on March 5th, which is their new sci-fi extraction shooter. And almost immediately the internet just went crazy, right? Saying this isn't it, dead on arrival, talking about, oh, this is a woke game, this is Concord 2. Like, I've seen a bunch of different comments, right? I've seen the comments, I've seen the tweets, the YouTube thumbnails, all this stuff. But like, honestly, I think people are sleeping on this game. I think people are sleeping on Bungie. And today I just want to talk about it, you know, my thoughts on why I actually believe that Marathon is going to succeed. And even with all the negative points people are bringing up. So let's get into it. So let's be real here for a second. The skepticism isn't coming out of nowhere, right? Like, when people hear extraction shooter, now they immediately think another trend chasing game, too late to the party, it'll never compete with Tarkov, live service fatigue, right? And all those points are valid, right? I get it. And on top of that, Bungie hasn't exactly been in everyone's good graces lately, right? Destiny burnout, me included. I haven't played Destiny in a long time. I'm completely burnt out from Destiny, and I'm not even somebody who has played anywhere near the amount of hours that other content creators or other players have when it comes to Destiny, right? But even still, I'm burned out from Destiny, right? The layoffs, the trust issues that they've had with like the whole art stuff. So I get it, right? But here's the thing. I think a lot of people are judging Marathon based on what they're afraid of and not what Bungie is actually good at or what actually is doing right now. One of the biggest criticisms I see is extraction shooters are already oversaturated. And yes, there are a lot of them, right? But here's the counter. Most extraction shooters are not approachable, right? Extraction shooters are difficult to get into. They are difficult games, right? And that's why we see that Arc Raiders is having so much success, because they've taken the genre of what is, I guess you could say, very niche, right, in the type of player base that it has, and have expanded it to the casual player base, right? If we also look at Tarkov, it's deep but brutal, right? Hunt Showdown has like a steep learning curve, and DMZ had potential but lacked long-term identity, and low-key wasn't even really a actual extraction shooter per se, you know what I mean? But Bungie's biggest strength has always been making complex systems feel accessible. Now, I'm not saying everything about their systems in games, like in Destiny per se, is actually like everything feels accessible, but they know how to make a complex game seem simple, right? And I think that that's something that is overlooked, right? So with it being oversaturated, the extraction shooters space all on PC, and although we are getting a lot of these extraction shooters that are on PC right now, they are coming to console in the near future. We just don't know when, right? Tarkov was announced for coming to console, ABI was announced for coming to console. We just don't know when, right? And then there's many more beyond that, right? But we need extraction shooters right now on console. We need more shooters in general on console, but if we can get more extraction shooters on console, then there's nothing wrong with that. Another big complaint is that Bungie is just trend chasing, right? But let's rewind for a second, right? Bungie didn't just copy shooters, they defined console FPS with Halo. Do we forget that they created Halo? Do we forget that they created Destiny? And I'm gonna give it straight right now. Me personally, again, this is my personal opinion. None of you guys have to agree with me, but Destiny is one of the greatest shooters of all time, the greatest feeling shooters of all time. The way it feels, the gunplay in Destiny is like amazing, almost second to none, right? It just feels so good, so smooth, so comfortable, right? And then of course Halo, right? Like Halo, shooting in Halo is it's amazing, right? So Bungie didn't just copy shooters. Again, they defined console FPS with Halo, and I would also say Destiny. They didn't just jump into looter shooters. Destiny basically created the modern live service FPS model. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to say, but Warframe came first, right? Yes, Warframe did come first, but they had a slow start, slow burn, and they were an independent studio, so it's not going to compete with the large marketing budget that Destiny had. right? And if we compare the first year of both games, one came out in 2013, Destiny came out the year later. Even still, the year comparison between the two it's just, there's no comparison. Destiny completely destroyed Warframe. We got to give Destiny its flowers, right? It basically created the modern live service FPS model, right? And Marathon isn't Bungie hopping on extraction shooters last minute. They've been sitting on this IP for decades. If any of you know Marathon from back in the day, from 1994, right, to 1996, well, I was like 4 years old, and it fits their strengths. It fits their strengths. Like this is Bungie's bread and butter right here. PvPvE is their thing, right? Sandbox balance, strong gun feel, like I said before, player driven stories. Oh my god, the stories. Bungie is so good at creating stories, at keeping you as a gamer immersed in the lore, in what's going on in this world, right? Again, I'm somebody who, I don't really care about lore. I don't care about stories. I just want to get in and shoot other players. That's the type of player that I am, right? But we gotta give the credit where it's due. If Bungie were to make a Destiny movie, it would be amazing. If Bungie were to make a Destiny show, it would be amazing, right? And that right there, that doesn't feel like trend chasing to me. It feels like a calculated pivot. The gunplay, and I know we just mentioned it, right? But now we got to dive a little bit deeper when it comes to the gunplay. Bungie still has the best feeling FPS gunplay in the industry, period. And again, you don't have to agree with me. You can let me know in the comments if you don't agree with me, right? You're probably gonna say Call of Duty, which fine. Call of Duty does feel good, right? But in terms of creativity, when it comes to the different type of weapons that you're wielding, and for it to still feel as good as it does in Destiny, we gotta acknowledge that. And I can see the same thing happening in Marathon very easily. And even people who hate Destiny will admit it feels incredible to play. In an extraction shooter, moment to moment tension matters more than anything. And if you're losing your gear and it feels amazing to play, you're more likely to queue back in, right? If you feel good shooting, moving around, the gunplay feels good, even though you lose your gear, you're more than likely to queue back in, right? And on top of that, Bungie understands match pacing, audio design. Oh my god, the audio in Destiny is so good, right? And all the different worlds that you're in, the atmosphere, the noise that's happening, like when you're in caves, right, from a distance close by, visual clarity, how everything looks, the controller support, right, which extraction shooters desperately need right now, because again, they're all on freaking PC, and even on PC they're not even getting controller support, like whatever. But Marathon has the potential to be the most console friendly extraction shooter we've ever had, and I know that's saying something because of Arc Raiders right now. Arc Raiders is super console friendly extraction shooter, but Marathon has the potential to do the same thing, or if anything surpass it. Maybe it may not, for the fact that I feel like Marathon may be a little more competitive than casual, but we'll have to wait and see. The art style, man, oh my god, I think this is probably the key thing, honestly. I think this is where people have their assumptions or their presuppositions of why this game is gonna fail, right? Why they're saying it's dead on arrival. Or split on the art style. Some people want gritty realism, right? But Bungie went with bold, clean, sci-fi, readable type of environment. And even still, later on, well, not later on, but just recently, they added in that gritty realism, right, into what they already have. And it looks so good. It looks clean. It looks a little spooky, a little dark, right? And I just think it looks amazing. For let's be real here. For people to look at this and say that it is woke slop, as if it's Concord again, you have to be delusional. Like, are we serious? We can't really look at this game and say, oh, Concord 2. What? Do we know who is making it? Bro, it's Bungie. Bungie makes the most creative, outside of the box games that we've ever seen. Again, look at Halo and Destiny. No game out there is like Halo. No game out there is like Destiny. And I would lean more towards Destiny, right? Because Destiny, if you've played Destiny, the characters, the armor, right? The gear, the weapons, the environment, the enemies, all the worlds, everything is so creatively made. Like, I get it. I'm burnt out on the whole woke mindset slop being pushed into our games. 1000% I agree. It doesn't deserve a place in our games. It was never there. Now why are we adding it in now, right? Why are we trying to brainwash gamers into this woke crap? I agree 1000%, right? Look at Dragon Age, right? And look at Concord. Look at where they are now. I agree that stuff doesn't deserve to be in our games, and we as gamers don't want or deserve that crap. But if we look at Marathon, that is not what this is. I can't understand how we're comparing the two, like how we're putting Marathon in that same box. I just don't see it. And I think people are just, the biggest problem right now is that people are reacting emotionally. That's really what it is. They're tired of live service games. They're tired of studios over promising, right? And I get it. I get it. It makes sense, and you have every right to feel that way. But we haven't even seen Marathon fully unfold yet. So why are we already setting our minds in a negative place? We haven't even seen the full extent of gameplay of this game. We haven't seen, full-blown progression, deep dive. We haven't seen any end game breakdown. We haven't really seen anything. All we have seen is a little bit of gunplay and a little bit of the world, of the maps, and a little bit of the runners that we'll be playing as. That's it. It's just a little bit of everything. Just a tiny iota of everything is what we've seen. But there's still so much more that we haven't seen, and that is why Bungie is so confident in their game that they're going to let us play the game before it even releases, and they're going to allow everyone to play, right? So, and I feel like that says a lot. And again, with the whole emotional thing, again, I know everyone is focused on just looking at the game and saying, oh, that's woke slop. I know that you've been hurt by games like Dragon Age and Concord. I know you're sick of woke mindset slop in our games. I agree with you, but I encourage you to look at this game a little closer and try to see that this game is not that whatsoever. Okay, let's not allow ourselves to be brainwashed by the crappy games that came previously to this, because then we're gonna do this game, which could potentially be an amazing game, a disservice. I'm not saying Marathon is guaranteed to be perfect. Bungie still has a lot to prove, but I do think that this game has way more going for it than people are willing to admit right now. And if Bungie nails accessibility, gunplay, and long-term motivation, Marathon could easily carve out its own lane in the extraction space, and honestly, I'm rooting for it. So that's it. Let me know down in the comments if you're excited, skeptical, or completely not with Marathon. And if you want more breakdowns like this, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, because I will be covering Marathon in the extended future, assuming that I actually do enjoy the game, because I'm not going to continue playing a game that I don't enjoy. Which is why I don't play Arc Raiders anymore, because I'm more of a competitive player. Not to say that Arc Raiders isn't a good game. It's an amazing game, just not for me. So I'm hoping that Marathon will be what I wished Arc Raiders was for me. A little more competitive, but also with a hint of casual. So again, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. God bless.